The termination letter arrived 3 days before my pension matured. 30 years of work, reduced to a thin white envelope. I stared at the words for a long time. Corporate restructuring. Clean, polite, surgical. The CEO, Daniel Mercer, didn't even bother signing it himself. Digital signature. Efficient, cold. My phone vibrated. A message from my wife, Lila. Did everything go okay today? I read it twice. Something about the timing felt wrong. Too perfect. My hands didn't shake. They never did. 30 years in corporate logistics trains a man to absorb disasters quietly. But inside, something moved. A slow realization. The office outside my glass cubicle buzzed with artificial sympathy. People avoiding eye contact, pretending nothing had happened. I packed my desk carefully. Family photo, coffee mug, retirement papers that were supposed to activate in 72 hours. 72 hours. I walked to the elevator. As the doors closed, I saw Daniel Mercer through the boardroom glass, laughing. Next to him stood a woman in a red coat, my wife, Lila. Her hand rested lightly on his shoulder. Too familiar, too comfortable. They didn't see me, but I saw enough. The elevator descended slowly. 30 floors, each one peeling away a layer of my life. By the time the doors opened, I already knew this wasn't corporate restructuring. This was surgery, and I was the patient. Lila was 29. I was 56. People always assumed I married her for youth. They never understood the truth. She pursued me, relentlessly. Sweet voice. Gentle admiration. A young woman fascinated by an older man's stability, or so I believed. Now I replayed every moment differently. The way she asked questions about my pension schedule. The way she suddenly encouraged me to invite my CEO to dinner last year. The way Daniel Mercer began treating me, strangely, friendly, too friendly. Predators smile before they bite. That evening I came home early. Lila was in the kitchen, wine glass in her hand. She turned, surprised. You're home early. Her voice sounded normal. Perfectly normal. I was let go today, I said. Silence. Her face tightened for half a second. Then sympathy appeared. Manufactured. Oh no. Daniel mentioned layoffs might happen. Daniel mentioned. Interesting. I nodded slowly. Strange timing, I said. 3 days before my pension. Her eyes flickered. Just once, most people would miss it. But I spent 3 decades negotiating contracts. Micro-expressions speak loudly. She stepped closer, wrapped her arms around me. I'm sure we'll figure it out. I smelled Daniel's cologne on her coat. Same brand he wore to corporate dinners. Expensive, sharp, male. My chest felt hollow. But my voice stayed calm. I'm sure we will. That night, she fell asleep quickly. I stayed awake, watching the ceiling, replaying 30 years of loyalty, and the last 3 years of marriage. Patterns formed, questions sharpened. Somewhere between midnight and dawn, suspicion became strategy. The first step was silence. People reveal everything when they think you're blind. I apologized to Lila the next morning for not planning better financially. She squeezed my hand. You did your best. Yes, I did. While she showered, I opened her laptop. No password. Trust is a beautiful disguise. Emails, messages, calendar events. Most were innocent. Then I saw it. Private folder, locked, but not well enough. Inside were hotel reservations, corporate conference weekends, always the same city, always the same dates Daniel traveled. Photographs followed. Subtle ones. Dinner tables, selfies, a reflection in a mirror where Daniel's arm wrapped around her waist. My pulse slowed. Evidence clarifies emotion. But the real surprise came 2 days later. A bank transfer. Daniel Mercer had wired Lila $80,000. Memo line. Phase complete. Phase? Interesting word. My phone rang that afternoon. Unknown number. Female voice. Calm. This is Eleanor Mercer, Daniel's sister. I stayed quiet. I believe, she continued slowly, your wife and my brother are stealing something from both of us. Now my curiosity awakened. She explained everything. Daniel planned to replace several pension-eligible executives with younger hires. Huge savings for the company. But privately, he had been siphoning funds using fake consulting contracts. Lila was his intermediary. My termination wasn't just betrayal. It was part of financial fraud. And why tell me? I asked. Because, Eleanor said, I'm on the board. Silence hung between us. Then she added softly, "And I despise my brother." A plan began forming instantly. Cold, precise, elegant. Revenge is best served documented. 3 weeks later, the board meeting took place. Daniel walked in confidently. Lila waited outside the building in his car. I knew because Eleanor arranged everything. The presentation started normally. Quarterly profits, growth projections. Then Eleanor spoke. "Before we continue," she said calmly, "I'd like to discuss internal fraud." Daniel stiffened. A large screen behind him flickered. Photographs appeared. Hotel rooms, transfers, email exchanges. Layla's name, Daniel's name, dates, numbers, amounts. The room turned silent. Daniel's face drained of color. "This is ridiculous," he said. I stood up slowly from the back of the room. He turned. Shock froze his expression. "You," he whispered. I walked forward calmly, placed one final document on the table, a financial timeline. Every illegal every shell account. Eleanor spoke quietly. "The board will be contacting federal investigators." Daniel's breathing became shallow. He looked at me with hatred. "You planned this." I met his eyes. "No," I said softly. "You did. Lila called me that night. 23 times. I didn't answer. On the 24th call, I picked up. Her voice was shaking. "Daniel's been arrested." Silence. "I don't understand what's happening." I smiled slightly. "You should." She started crying. "They said there's evidence, transfers, emails." I leaned back in my chair. "Yes, my lawyer says I could be implicated." "You might." Her breathing became frantic. "You have to help me." "Help." Such a strange word. "You helped Daniel fire me," I reminded her calmly. "That was business." "No," I said. "That was greed." She whispered my name. "Desperate." "I loved you." The line went quiet for several seconds. Then I spoke the truth she never expected. "Your transfer money funded my investment account." She stopped breathing. "I moved it before the investigation began." More silence. "I now own the villa in Switzerland you always wanted." She gasped. "You stole it?" "No," I said softly. "You gave it to me." Then I hung up. 6 months later, I stood on the balcony of my villa overlooking Lake Geneva. Snow rested gently on the mountains. Still, quiet, peaceful. My phone vibrated again. Lila. 71 missed calls this week. She had seen the photos I posted online. The house. The view. The life she tried to steal. Daniel was facing federal charges. 20-year sentence possible. Lila was negotiating immunity. Desperate people always negotiate. I watched the lake shimmer under the winter sun. 30 years of loyalty. 3 years of deception. Both ended the same way. Silently. My phone rang again. I turned it off. Some betrayals deserve anger. Others deserve something colder, indifference. And in the end, that was the only revenge that truly mattered.